If you're a student who receives special education services, or you're the parent and guardian of a student in special ed, you probably know that high school ends at age 22. The purpose of staying in school until you're 22 is to prepare you for life as an adult. And there's a tool that's available to you that's very important. It's called the Transition Plan. Everyone in special education age 14 and a half to 22 should have an individualized transition plan. A successful plan must reflect a student's strengths, interests, and goals for the future. The purpose of this video is to prepare students, parents, and guardians to take a proactive role in developing a successful transition plan. These personal stories are examples of ways in which families, students, parents, and guardians can assist in developing a successful transition plan.
My name is Beth, and I'm 17 years old, and I love go to college for Wisconsin. I see in Green Bay. If I pass our grades, I'm gonna graduate from high school.
For Beth, she's grown up always knowing that she has Down syndrome. It's never been any sort of big secret. She's always known that things are harder for her. I think it's just a part of who you are. Whether you have, brown hair, blue eyes, green eyes, having a disability is just another piece of who you are.
You really have to be their, what would be the word, their advocate. You have to be pushing all the time for what your child needs. The school districts tend to be overwhelmed actually by all the needs of all the children, but you can't really let that slide for your child just because the school system is strapped.
The more active you are, I think, the better anybody's chances, whether you have a child that's disabled or even just a regular child. I mean, you have to be an involved parent.
You still have to fight for what your child needs. You just have to worry about, what does my child need? How do I get that for them?
You have to know your child. You have to know their strengths and their weaknesses, and you have to have that outlook of where you see your child in the future. People do not think about transition soon enough. I was very fortunate when Beth was in the Birth to 3 program that is for children with significant disabilities who might need to work on some motor skills or different developmental skills. And the person that we were working with at that time asked me where I seen her after high school. Well, I didn't even think about that. She was so young. But really, you should always be thinking about that. From kindergarten all the way through. Those very beginning steps of being able to do the alphabet, to writing your name, to having a signature, that's all part of independent living. And so hopefully, the sooner someone thinks about that, the faster they can build on those skills.
After we had her actually go through graduation, we wanted her to be out doing something productive, helping in the community, and having her volunteer different places. That was one way to do it. All these places gave her more work experience, got her out in the community meeting people, and that actually is how she got her part-time job. So it was those temporary volunteer types of positions that I feel made a huge difference for her, for experience, for something to put on her resume, and to make her, to let her get contact with people in the outside world that could eventually hire her.
There's a lot of things out there for adults with disabilities or young adults with disabilities, a transition program, and we're big proponents of being as involved as you can be and volunteering, giving as much of your time as you can.
An Intersect for Ability toolkit is available to help you navigate through the transition process and into adult services. The toolkit includes a checklist to guide you through the transition process, links to websites you will want to visit relating to adult services and benefits, answers many of the questions you have about transitioning from school to adulthood. So we hope you will understand 3 things after watching this video. Number 1, you need to know that there are resources available to help you through this process. Number 2, we want you to know that you can play a proactive part in developing an individualized, successful plan. 3, to make it possible for every student to transition successfully from the world of school to their adult life.
I hope you will begin planning for your child's successful transition to adulthood. To access the toolkit, you can contact any one of the following Intersect partners.
I know.
Hope I keep you.
I'm glad you're going to keep me.
Yes, I am.
You're stuck with me.